Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Play Legend of Grimrock 2, this time with the Guardians. Yes, I have to start this adventure anew because I had some recording problems. Some of the recordings weren't that good. I tried to redo them and then I killed the save games. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. This will be a tips and tricks video as well as the start of a new Let's Play series, simply because there is so much we can do better, I can do better, that I want to show you. First and foremost, I want to show you my team that I would send into every dungeon, and that should be able to do good in every dungeon you choose. As long as you can create your characters. Well, if you can't, that's more or less pointless, but if you can, and you can do in most, there is what I would do, and why I would do it. So first of all, we go for lizardmen. Why lizardmen? Because lizardmen get access to very important traits in your elements, which is a little bit hampered down here because it's normally 25% resist to all and 25% resist to all, so you're getting out of this with 50% on top of your abilities. But here in this mod, in the Guardians, it's only 15% and 50%, so 30%, but that is still glorious. And we go for poison immunity. Why that? When you go for other immunities or other high resistances, that's the reason why one has resistances and one is immunity. The point is, if you're fire immune, you will still take damage from the firebolt because it does also physical damage. So it will break your limbs, it will break your bones, it will damage you. So poison immunity, on the other hand, works 100%. You cannot get poisoned. You're neither taking poison damage, nor you can be poisoned. That means you have no problems with poison traps, you have no problems with mushrooms, not the small runnings ones and not the big stationary ones. So poison immunity is unbelievably helpful. And there is a lot of dungeons, a lot of adventures you can go through where you are caught in poison fields and you're getting poison damage from all sides, and that's really going to mess your life up. And with poison immunity, that is no problem. I know that this is a little bit controversial because, of course, you're getting resist 15% poison and 15% poison from your lizardman trait as well, and all that together means that the poison bonus you get is negated by the poison immunity, because that is basically wasted. But trust me, it's worth it. So lizardmen we take for the traits, for the resistances. And resistances are very, very important in this game, because there's a lot of traps and a lot of spells thrown around you, and that will help you greatly. With that being said, we go for barbarian as class. Now, why that, you might ask? Well, very, very simple. When you count all the health and energy points together that every class gets, the average is around 95 to 100 points. The barbarian gets a starting of 120 altogether. Furthermore, when you get the level advantages that you get in points and health and energy combined, you end up with 10 normally for all the characters. The barbarian gets 13 points per level in total, as you can see. Now you might say, Boris, you cannot make a caster out of this. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because the fact that you're casting spells has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the pick of your class. Yes, you will have more energy, that is true, but you can cast with the barbarian spells as well as with any other character, and you should have one spellcaster in your team. How you can combine that with the barbarian, I will show you. But the point is, first and foremost, the barbarians gives us the most life points in the game possible, and that is very important, because while dodge is good and while armor is good, some of the damage cannot be negated, and it's just going on your hit point level. And bigger monsters will simply ignore your armor or find other ways to hit you anyway, and then health is your friend. And for example, I'm not a friend of diversity in any mean. And that means if you have a team of 2 barbarians in the front and 1 spellcaster in the back and 1 ranged fighter in the back, and the wizard always gets killed because the party takes damage from a lot of sources all over the place. So the front ranks can tank the damage coming from in front, but there is a lot of damage that comes from all sides, or everyone is hit, or you're getting smashed from behind, and then your wizard dies all the time. This will not happen with 4 barbarians. We'll take 4 barbarians, but more to that later. The barbarian class we take for its health pool, or its total points pool, both per level up and per starting in health and energy combined, and because of the +1 per less strength per level, because strength does not only impact your damage, it also impacts your carrying capacity by 3 kilos per level. That means that, for example, if you say, oh, I take a Battle Mage because then my armor weight is reduced by 50%. Yeah, the heaviest armor is 20 kilos, roundabout. That means you're saving 10 kilos. When you're level 15 with a Barbarian, you will have 45 kilos additional carrying capacity, while the Battle Mage will have still his minus 10%, so 10. If he's wearing heavy armor, it's 10 kilos. So that means you're making a total of 35 kilos of carrying capacity bonus if you go for the Barbarian. And the Battle Mage feat only works if you're equipping armor at all, where the Barbarian can carry just stuff around. Much better. Furthermore, each point in strength gives you 2 points in resist fire. See that? At level 15, that means you have additional 30 points of fire resistance. The Battle Mage, when he wears an orb, which he always should do, gets +10. So he has got a total of 40 resistant points. With a Barbarian, you're just 10 points under that, and you have the bonus of more carrying capacity, and you have the bonus of more damage. Great, isn't it? That brings us to why not. So, why not the Alchemist? Very simple. The Alchemist, one of his traits is you have 50% last chance of malfunction with firearms. If you're using firearms, you should max that out. In most of the games, firearms are crap anyway, because they do not get an increase in their damage from dexterity or anything else, so that's flat damage. In this game here, that is different. In this dungeon, the Guardians is one of the dungeons where you get bonuses to your firearms. However, still firearms are not great. They use up ammunition. That will bring you in a tight spot if you have no supply line running, if you cannot go back home and replenish your ammunition. And the overall damage is good, but not that great, especially because the cooldown is normally relatively high. The herbs in your inventory multiply. Yeah, that is cool, but you need 4 alchemists and a lot of time to make that work to a step where it really helps you. So the Alchemist, no sir. The Battle Mage. Now look at this. Weight of the armor is reduced by 50%. Again, that means you have to carry armor. If you're going for spellcraft, you have to put a lot of points into your spell abilities, into concentration, and you will not have a lot of points left for armor. Besides, the armor that gives normally a lot of energy is not the heaviest armor around. So that kind of doesn't help you that much. You can cast spells with your bare hands. Great, but that contradicts with the next one. You gain +10% +10 protection and +10 resist all when you're equipped with a magical staff or orb. So that is basically something that helps you in the beginning, and the other one helps you in the end. So you cannot use both. What? No, sir. We're not doing that. Farmer. Well, that's a fun class. You can cook. You can cook food and mine ore. This is, I remind you, only in the Guardians. In the others, this is not how it works. So you're basically saving 2 golden keys. That's the benefit of this class. There you go. The fighter, your special attacks recharge faster. That is nice, but this guy only has 90 points to start in total, where the Barbarian has 120. And you're not using special attacks that much. When you're in the middle of a fight, you're clicking as fast as you can. You're dishing out damage, you're relying on criticals and maneuvering, and you don't have time to replenish or do the special attacks. So that is nice, but overall you'll be not using that ability that much. The Knight, +1 protection per level. So if you're level 15, you're getting +15 protection. That is okay. But let's be honest, protection is not going to save your butt anyway. It's nice to have, but it's not helping you against the big monsters. Kiting is, and kiting has nothing to do with protection. So that's a nice add-on, but that's it. The armor reduction is the same as the Battle Mage. You're better off with just carrying capacity. And the evasion bonus of shields is 50%, so theoretically you can take 2 shields, put them in the front, and then dodge like hell. But there is a lot of attacks you cannot dodge. And dodging, when you have 2 shields, I mean, you do no damage. So you have 1 guy or 2 guys in the group that just take damage and do nothing, or take the attacks and do nothing forward. So no, sir, we're not taking knights. The rogue. Dual wielding. That is interesting. However, normally you get a penalty of 40% when you dual wield. Yes, that's what there stands. But when you have a thief, it's only 25%. But when you have a barbarian and you have plus strength and you're using light weapons that get strength bonus to damage, which there are a lot of, you're more or less cancelling that one out. You're doing as much damage with a barbarian at level 15 and 2 light weapons, dual handen, as you do with a rogue, with the 25% penalty instead of the 40% penalty, because it's only 15% and the strength bonus is quite a lot. So when you're going for dual wield, yes, you could go for the rogue, but you can also go for barbarian and take 2 light weapons with strength, and you will have all the benefits. Again, fire resistance and a carrying capacity and damage if you find a weapon that is one-handed in light, for example, underwater weaponry. So this is more versatile than the rogue, which is 25% penalty to dual wielding. You will do nearly as much damage with the barbarian as long as you take light weapons based on strength. Yes, there are a lot of them that use dexterity, but still this works. 1% chance to score critical hit with missile weapons or throwing weapons. Yeah, you need a lot of accuracy and you need missile weapons and you need the missile weapon skill. This could be cool. It gets round about 15, level 15, a little bit higher sometimes depending on the dungeon. That is great considering that the critical gives you 3%. So that more or less doubles it. Normally you get 15 from critical, and then you get another 15 from the rogue, and that is only applying to ranged weapons, to missile weapons and throwing weapons, not firearms, I remind you. So yeah, the rogue would be an idea, 2 rogues, but let's combine health and energy. That's 85 points. And we get 120 with the barbarian. So the overall damage in range is a little bit higher. But, yeah, no. The wizard, well, plus 2 spell power, plus 2 willpower, that equals up 10 more energy points. Yay. Yay. And you can cast spells with your bare hands. Great. That means in the beginning you have an advantage. As soon as you find any kind of magic stuff, you will be using that magic stuff because it gives you benefits to energy or willpower. This is pretty much out of the window almost immediately. And with health 35, if anything gets you from behind, if anything hits you that it does AoE damage like fireballs and stuff, you're dead. That's how it is. Yes, if you max out all fire, air, earth, and then you have resistances like hell. But still, I mean, you can do wizard with combination of the lizard man and get your resistances so high and then stand in the back. But yeah, the point is we're taking the barbarians for one more reason in tactical combat, and that is we can fight with the barbarian like the Roman army. Those of you who have seen Roman armies fighting might not know this. I mean, you only know it from low-level productions. The idea of the Roman tactics is not so much the testudo, this turtle formation, or the fact that they work in mandible or legions. The idea of the Roman army is that you change your fighters every minute or every 45 seconds. So the fighter steps back, the next one steps in. He fights, he steps back, the next one steps in. That's the reason why the Romans can fight for a very, very long time without getting slowed down. Constantly pushing, constantly keeping the advantage, and we'll be doing the same because when we have 4 barbarians and we can interchange them, so as soon as the first rank is damaged, it goes to the second rank and the second rank goes forward. You can fight 2 times as long as any other party in the game. So we're taking Lizardman for the resistances and the immunity to poison. Please keep in mind, if you're playing the dungeon, the Lost City, poison immunity will keep you from getting a secret because you have to be all you guys have to be poisoned to find one secret, and that doesn't work with poison immunity, of course. But in all other dungeons, you will be fine. Trust me. So Lizardman we take for resistance and immunity. This will help us against any kinds of traps and spells and stuff. Beautiful. We'll take the barbarians for the sheer health pool and the fact that we can carry more, deal more damage, and have a higher fire resistance. Beautiful. We'll put all our points in strength and dexterity. I know most people will go for vitality, but vitality, for one, increases your poison resistance, which we don't need. We have poison immunity. Remember, poison immunity, good because it helps against the secondary effect. The secondary effect, for example, fire cannot be helped because that is physical explosion damage, which you will take anyway. So fire resistance will not be as useful as poison immunity. So we take, well, there is no fire immunity. There is just this, where is it? There is a thing that increases your fire resistance. I think it's aura. No, where is it? Demon ancestors. Yes, fire resistance and vitality. Crap that. Take poison immunity, because that is only 30 points or 30%, and your vitality +1 just means, honestly, that's 5 hit points. Screw that. We're going for dexterity because dexterity will give us 3 very important things. It will help our accuracy, because the biggest gun doesn't help if it doesn't hit, and accuracy will help you with that. Evasion. The best thing of avoiding damage is not be there when it happens. And shock resistance. Very, very good. Because our shock resistance is the second most often used damage type in the game if you have poison resistance, poison immunity anyway. Vitality is the regeneration rate. Yeah, that might be a problem. Your poison resistance, skip that. And we're barbarians. We have a big health pool already, so we're not that dependent on that. So, we'll take in poison immunity, we'll take in endure elements, we're taking our barbarians, we're taking our lizard men. Now for the skills. There is a lot of argument made for heavy weapons because they hit harder, and as they hit harder, they're able to overcome armor better. But that is true. Against armor, I totally concur. But the point is, with light weapons have normally a lower cooldown rate than heavy weapons. That means you can strike 2 times with the light weapons normally than you can strike with a heavy weapon. So you do double the damage. And if you dual wield, that doubles again. So you do 4 times the damage with light weapons than you do with heavy weapons. And the bonus of heavy weapons at level 5 is that you can carry a 2-handed weapon in one hand. Not all of the heavy weapons are 2-handed, so that is a feat that goes missing on half of the heavy weapons. Where a light weapons, you can dual wield all of them when you have 5 points into it. Furthermore, light weapons, all the underwater weapons are light weapons. So if you increase your light weapon skill, you will be able to do underwater damage a lot better than people that concentrate on heavy weapons. Plus, underwater combat is on speed because you're running out of air quickly. You have to do damage quick and high. So light weapons is the name of the game if you go for weapons. Please trust me on that one. Yes, heavy weapons is the magma hammer and the ancient greatsword and the battle axe and all that, and that is all cool, and my sons love them. But trust me, light weapons is the name of the game if you want to deal damage, and that is what it's all about.
Yes, I love heavy weapons because we make a troop, and there we do heavy weapons with all, and one of them, it was we do him, and that was more. He has heavy weapons, and we win the game with that.
Yes, we did. But if you're playing, no matter what dungeon you play, normally light weapons is the better choice. Now, what else do? We do accuracy, because if we want to fight Roman style, for one, we need to be able to attack from the second row. So first thing you do is put 1 more point in accuracy so that your back rank can fight, and you can interswitch the troops. And, that is very important, accuracy determines how often you hit, and the biggest weapon, as I mentioned, is useless if you don't hit your target. So, this guy needs a name, and he will be named after my beloved son, Willie. Well, he wants to write something after it. So Willy will call himself Willy Kröt, which is the German word for a turtle. Not a turtle, a toad, because that is his nickname, Willy the Toad. So, as I mentioned, we'll make a more or less pure Lizardman Barbarian party, because then we're able to take damage on...
Can I do the face?
Willy can do... Oh, wait, we have to pick the Lizardman. So the next one will be Boris, which is me. And Willy will be able to take the picture. You're free to take the picture.
I want this.
Okay. So we're taking strength again. We're taking dexterity again, as I mentioned, for the reasons listed already. And we're taking light weapons and not critical. And where is it? Accuracy. Oh, by the way, critical works better with light weapons and only good with light weapons. So where there is no skill that benefits from heavy weapons, critical and light weapons go hand in hand. One more reason. So reasons for light weapons. 4 attacks, where you have 1 with heavy weapons. Underwater weapons work with light weapons. And critical works with light weapons. So go for light weapons. Trust me. So this is done. The next one will be my brother the lion.
Yes, I want this one. But Mom, I will do.
So, Mom will be special because Mom is special. As you can see, we're going for light weapons and critical and accuracy. But, we need one man or one lady in the group who's able to cast spells, not for damage spells, but for support spells, like light. Because we're making recordings. If I make the recordings without a torch, which I could do, it will be no joy for you to watch. And trust me, there is not only optical reasons, because this is a play guide, so a dungeons guide, how to make a good party. You need one spellcaster for the utility spells, like Force Field, like Breathe Underwater, like Invisibility, because what goes really great with light weapons and critical is Invisibility. That is a bummer, trust me, because you can get behind the enemy and do 3 times the damage, and you've got barbarians with a lot of strength and a lot of weapons, and you're striking like crazy with critical in the back. That is absolutely horrific for the enemy. Total bummer, trust me on this one. So, now we'll take the last one. First I have to put the things in. Wait. Put all the points here. And this character will be a little bit different.
Why, Baba?
So, we'll go for concentration in this case. And we'll go
Fire
for...
magic.
No, this is a support character. We'll go for air... No, sadly, we have to go for accuracy first. Because we need 1 point in accuracy, and then she can go total for spellcasting. Yes, she will not have light weapon bonuses, but we'll just give her the light weapons that does not need bonuses. And she just needs 1 point in water magic and 4 points in air magic, and then she will be able to cast all the support spells we need. That is invisibility, well, no, 1 more point in concentration, but then she will be able to cast invisibility, she will be able to cast light, she will be able to cast breathe underwater, and she will be able to cast force field. And that is all we need from her. She will get all the spells, all the artifacts or potions that increase willpower, and she will have enough energy for days. So
I don't want. I want.
So Will has chosen Mother's Picture. So, very, very nice. There is one thing we have to change. So, perfect. So, everyone has endure elements and poison immunity. That means when we walk into a trap with poison, if we attack a mushroom with poison, if we go against any kind of poison bolt, we are totally cool. We have no problem whatsoever. Why are you a fighter? Become a barbarian. Thank you, sir. So... Is everything ready to go? She's in concentration and accuracy. That is okay. First point will go into accuracy, and then we'll go 1 point in concentration, and then we'll go for air magic and 1 point in water magic, and she will be fine. Beautiful. If you have any questions towards the character creation, for example, water is extremely good in most of the dungeons or adventures because you can freeze people in place. Dodge. The problem with dodge is if you're going dodge and light weapons, this reduces the cooldown by 10%. That works better with heavy weapons than with light weapons because the cooldown of light weapons is already pretty low. If you have to choose between throwing weapons and missile weapons, I would go for the missile weapons because of the armor reduction of the enemy. I would in most games not go for firearms because the only bonus you get for 5th skill is that it doesn't blow up in your face. Oh boy, shouldn't do that in the first place. Armor, I would go at least for 2 because there's a lot of good light armor. If the heavy armor is worth 5 points, you can in most games it's 4 points to get light armor, heavy armor. In this mod or in this adventure it's 5 points. But if it's worth 5 points, that's up to you. 2 points light armor carrying should be possible for you for the protection reasons. Alchemy, I never take. Most people like it, but you find enough bombs, and in some of the games like here or in the Eye of Atlantis, you can sell alchemy stuff to get additional coin, and that's sometimes more worth than just making the potions or the bombs. And athletics, we don't need the carrying capacity by 15, honestly. And the health regeneration, we have more than enough health. Eat food without consequences is only in this dungeon here. Please keep that in mind, so don't take that as a general advice. Dodge, as I mentioned, critical, very useful if you're going for light weapons, and all the, well, fire magic is your most used one, yes, because it will give you the fire resistance, and there is a lot of enemies who use fire and a lot of traps who use fire. But again, you're not immune to the physical damage of the fireball, just to the fire damage of the fireball. Keep that in mind. You will still get broken bones and stuff. And the fire spells, there is a lot of enemies, especially higher level enemies, that are immune to fire. So, fire magic, not your favorite in most of the dungeons. Same with earth magic, because there is a lot of enemies who don't care for poison. So, with that being said, we're ready to go. Barbarian, lizardmen, we're going in hot.
See the rat. Rat.
Willie loves the rat. Now, we are in our base, which just been awakened. This base is a dimension-traveling fortress, which is normally tasked with guarding the balance of the world. Every world in this guardian stuff here has its own living rock space or base that, and this one here, this dimension here has been under attack. And so this base, mobile base, was called in and it was damaged. As you can see, insufficient power system failure, everything is going down. We have no weapons at the moment. That is something we should change immediately. Now there is a living tree in that. We don't want to anger this guy, at least not for now. So first thing we do, this is, you can see that everything here is damaged like hell. So we're trying to get some equipment. This is food. Please always look up if the stuff is rotten or not. And now when you're fighting an enemy, there are 2 ways you can fight. You can kite them, meaning you can go around in circles. And you can simply work backwards. There are some enemies that you cannot kite very well, simply because they're better in working sideways than you are. For example, wargs, the red wargs that I fear and my son fear very, very much. But there are also others where you can do better in kiting them. So running around in circles around them, I'll show you that. That is just the walking bat tactic. This is useful against a lot of targets who can simply spring to the side. Wargs, treemen, for example, are very susceptible to this kind of attack. So you can see we're doing extra damage with the torches because it's fire damage. Also keep in mind that there's some enemies who are immune to fire that are immune to fire damage, so you will not do anything against them with fire. Or even they may be healed. There are targets in the game that can be healed by your attacks. So for example, if you're going up against a fire elemental and throw fireballs at him, he will simply get healed. which is not good for you, trust me. So I think this happens 2 times in a row and then it's done. It's not that they have an unlimited supply.
I think 4 times.
4 times. Maybe Willy can tell you something about monsters being created, because there's some things in the game that can create monsters.
The mushroom model that can create little mushrooms. We don't love them, but yeah.
Who else?
Others.
Sometimes there is, for example, spider cocoons that can produce additional spiders, which is very unhealthy. Mushrooms, as Willy mentioned, there is some things that can produce flies, which is terrifying. So always keep an eye open.
That we need to mine away.
It's not often, but it is possible. You can tell when an enemy is giving no experience. That is a very, very clear sign, although not proof, that you have run into something that is produced en masse. So he will come out of this, and as you can see, he's very, very good at walking sideways. He's not that good at walking forward. And we will use that. If we play our cards right, we'll not get hit a single time. As you can see, we did our part right. What I want to show you in this playthrough is, of course, all the secrets, all the bonuses, and the quickest way to make things go. First thing we need to gain access to a golden key, because that will enable us to train our mage better than the rest, because the mage will need more skill points. Simple as that. Because the mage will be able to fight like normal, and he should be able to cast spells on top of that. So basically, she will get every tome of knowledge that we can get our hands on. We're now giving this watcher the energy. And physical damage, we should be able to... Oh no, we're not yet able to leave. We need another one. But that is no problem, because now we can open this gate. But we can get our first secret by closing all the doors. Ta-da! Fire bombs. Very, very useful. So, first things first, we try to make ourselves some room here to maneuver. Because what you always need is room to maneuver. If this thing stays here, you will not be able to kite someone.
Dad, can I do something? Something little? It is not one of them.
There is a dungeon where the tapestries, for example, produce monsters. And you have to destroy the tapestries as fast as you can, because if you don't, all hell will break loose. So this is spices. This is recipes. You can cook your own food. Please keep in mind that this is only possible in this dungeon here. It's not possible in most of the other dungeons. Mining and cooking, while not exclusive, is most of the time limited to this dungeon. And it's a great dungeon. That's one of the reasons I show them to you. Now I will show you what I mean by kiting. We have already tried the workbacks tactic, which is nice. We'll now try something else. You just move to the side, and he's not able to do anything. There are enemies that you cannot kite for several reasons. Some of them are too big, some of them do AoE damage where you cannot kite, and some of them are simply locking you in a place, or you're locked in a place where you cannot get to a position where you can kite.
Which ones?
For example, the two-handed skeletons in the dungeon where all the smaller fast undead came out of the ground. We were not able to kite that one. We had to kill him with bombs. Sometimes that happens. So there is ore. You're collecting basically two things. Ore for the Watcher to repair the base, and energy cores, like the first one we've just given the Watcher, to power up stations. There is a lot of stations here. There is a jewelry station, there is a crafting station, there is a gem station, there is a general store station. There are tons of stations here that you can power up. Keep the doors closed at all times, because sometimes bad things happen and then you don't want everyone running around in your base like crazy. So we've got a level up. That means everyone will get accuracy +1. As soon as we have that, we'll welcome to the Roman Legion. That means we are all able to do the Roman Legion fighting style. Because the back row can attack as soon as you have accuracy 2. Now with that being said, our first goal is to get our hands on 2 golden keys. So why did we do that? Why didn't we attack him but attack the grass? Because this is the only room we have to make ourselves kiteable. Be aware that these guys... You see, we're fighting with our back ranks now. That means we're doing twice the damage that we normally do. These guys have a special attack, by the way. Willy will tell you about their special attack.
They can jump forward and then they make damage. Do not go.
Ow. I was
You
unaware.
do it. Now you know it. What I mean.
They've got this lance attack where they simply jump at you, and that does a lot of damage. For example, this guy just lost nearly 30 health points. So if he was, for example, a wizard, there was a good chance that he would just have been dead. Do you see this back hopping? That is something you can use to your advantage. It is always also a negative because, theoretically speaking, they could use this to jump out of the way of a spell, for example, of a missile weapon. No, we don't want to fight the turtle. Did the turtle see us? Yes, it did. Yes, she did. Okay, that means we have to fight her, because what we cannot have is a turtle in our back hunting us. The turtle has a special attack as well. Willy, tell us about the special attack of the turtle.
You see it? He is running forward. Like a troll, but not so much damage. And it is not running forever. Just for there where you were standing.
Very good, Willy. The turtle makes a ramming attack, but only 1 space. Please, if you ever go up against a troll, keep in mind that these guys won't stop when they start running.
Just when they run to a wall.
We can force this guy back for centuries if we want to. Which we just did.
Dead.
So.
Which we just did.
We're not taking every secret along the way for the moment, because of course we have a plan.
Which one?
We want to get our first golden key. Now you can see there's 2 of them. That normally is a problem because of their attack speeds. But normally when there are 2 of them, they're not that hard taking damage. So now he's alone. And alone he is how much threat, Willy?
No.
Ah, there he jumped out of it. Well, he more or less jumped into his own end. So
yes.
We stay on the... we can take some stuff on the way. Not that we need it. There is a shield. We're not using shields later on because we are barbarians, 2-handed wielding. But, well, having a shield now isn't that bad. Oh, look at that. Here they come.
Dad, can we use trolls to destroy grass?
Theoretically you can, because they will do impact damage on whatever they hit.
When they run?
Yes, when they run they do impact damage. Oh, this guy's really good at hopping. What you can do against these guys is maneuver so fast that they're not moving, because they are trying to turn their face to you, and then they're not moving. That works most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time. Keep in mind that these little buggers might literally come out of the lake. Never be in a straight line because of their attack, with their jumping attack. Always do this side move thing. If you get cornered by these guys, it isn't that bad. As long as they don't do their jump attack, they're not able to do that much damage. They will still be doing some damage, but it will not be critical.
There was a fishman.
Now this thing is completely different. Willy, tell us about this target. Oh crap.
He is doing a lot of damage.
Now we're in trouble. No, we're not. But that was terrible by me. I accept that.
I don't know the special attack of them.
It's just a rush forward.
Okay.
Nothing that special.
Turtle fishmen are better.
So he's thinking of what to do. Keep in mind that these guys can attack really quickly. So if they're facing you, they will strike you with a speed that is not kiteable. So we get some extras here. This is where we will get our first golden key, by the way. Those of you who don't know the secret to that one, it isn't that complicated. Although it is, because it took me a while to figure it out. But I will help you so it will go a lot quicker. Although I think we've already exceeded our recording time. Maybe Willy want to tell you a little bit about the eagles, as we call them. They're not really eagles, but we call them eagles. And there are two different types of eagles, aren't there, Willy?
Yes. Not two, more than two.
Which ones are the ones that we know?
That one that you see. That one? Wait, that one?
So the normal eagle, one might say.
Yes. The normal. And
okay, we should go a place where we can kite them. Oh, and by the way, if you can, put all your weapons in the inner slot so that you have a quicker way of accessing them. Because if you don't, you will run into the problem that you will have too long times to move your mouse, and then you will not be able to strike as quick. So we have the normal eagle with his normal claw attack. What else do we have in
the
eagles?
lightning eagle.
What can he do?
He can throw lightning at you. And the poison eagle.
The poison eagle.
Yes.
Which one of them do we fear?
The lightning.
The lightning one we fear, yes.
Because we're not lightning immune.
And they really do a lot of damage with this lightning attack. Please keep that in mind. They're even able to do physical damage to your or injure your limbs, which is terrifying. That's a real bummer. So, first things first, we get a sling. I don't think we have any meat yet. We have not killed enough. Oh, what are they called? We could put a non-processed thing, but what we do really want to do is throw that here. Trust me, that'll do its work. We have one lockpick that we will use here. That will give us some bonus experience and some bread and a crystal and a blank scroll and potions and this. which is nice. And now we're going home because according to my calculations, we should be able to get our first golden key. And if everything works as planned, it might be wrong, then we'll have to do something else. We'll have to kill a turtle, but it should just work.
You mean a power gem?
Power gem. Oh, I just missed a fruit. Willy, what can you tell us about food? What is the reason we take lizardmen? There is one more reason I didn't tell you.
Lizardmen, when they eat 3 eggs, then they can get a bonus. Then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10, then 11, then...
So you get bonuses to your attributes by eating eggs. Please keep in mind that in this game here you can cook the eggs into cakes and bread. You should not do that if you have a lizardman party, because of course you have the chance of getting... he needs, I think, 1 more of those. And then that should be accessible. Yes, perfect. Although we have no power gem to activate it at the moment. Oh, maybe we have. No, we don't. No, we don't. But there should be a secret now open to us. Where was it? Oh, I forgot it. Here. Perfect. Our first golden key. Now, all we need is another power gem. As soon as we get that, we're ready to get our necklace of experience that we can give
Dad?
Phoebe.
Dad,
And then we'll be good.
I know where we can get a power gem.
Yeah, we'll go for it in a second. For purposes of perfection, lizardmen eat eggs and get attribute bonuses. Are there any other races that can benefit from food?
Rats?
Eat what?
Cheese.
And who else?
I don't know.
Insects. They eat the horned fruit. So if you have got an insect party, don't cook the horned fruit, eat it. And only if you have a mixed party, give the horned fruit to your insect, give the eggs to your ratman, give the eggs to your lizardman, and give the cheese to your ratling. The humans, the manitors, cannot benefit from any food. So that's another reason not to take them, because you're missing out on attribute points, and every attribute points is worth gold. With that being said, I thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. I hope I give some information to you, and I'm very glad that my son joined me and helped me in this recording, because I'm always appreciating his help and his wisdom.
Thanks.
We say thank you, and I hope you'll hear us the next time. Bye.